Welcome in to Tech Talk here on KGHS and KSDM. As always, Doug, Danielle joining us this morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
It is a nice morning out. One question. We've been talking about security and all these different things. So yesterday I'm in the studio and every once in a while we have to call a number out and they get on the computer and they change a couple things around. And it kind of dawned on me, how do I know this is who they say they are before I let them on?
That is such a great question and something that happens a lot at a call that we get a lot at Small Town Tech.
Absolutely. Yep. We get a call that Microsoft or Verizon or Midco or some other company that we all know and trust is contacting somebody and saying, we need to get on your computer to do this, that, or the other thing.
And then they just walk you through these steps. You go to the internet, type in something, go to a web browser, and all of a sudden you don't have control of your mouse anymore. Somebody else does on the other end. How do you know? How do you know that you can trust the person on the other end?
And you know, they use these companies and others because they want you to trust them. And so you see these companies like, oh yeah, I do business with these companies. It must be legitimate, right? Because they're a major company and they need access to what I'm doing. And it's not, 99% of the time, it's not legitimate, and that's not the way the good actors work, right? They won't contact you and say, let me get on your internet. So these are a variation of what we call a phishing scam, which has nothing to do with walleye and trout and such, but it's a phishing scam is where the scammer is working not just through the technology, but through the person who's sitting behind the computer and is trying to convince them, you, the operator of the computer, that to let them on your computer. And there have been some severe security breaches in our area as well as nationwide that came down to not a technological flaw in security, but to some employee who said to the bad actor, sure, come on, get on my internet, get on my computer, come on in. And
take what you want.
Yeah, and then that bad actor took what they wanted, right? And so that's where the biggest security hole can sometimes be in just our trusting nature, perhaps, right?
So is it just information they want? What's their payoff?
Well, in some cases, like some of the more famous data breaches, it's like places like Target and some of these others that have been breached, they get credit card numbers from all the transactions, right? And also a lot of personal data so that they can sell it to marketers and things. In our on the level of individuals like us, they might be able to gain access to banking data. They might be able to get access to enough information about you that they can then use that to hack into other things that you have. And so there's a lot that they might put software on your computer without you knowing it that then tracks everything that you do and reports it back to somebody else, including things like typing in your passwords and those sorts of things. So how do you know if it's legitimate or not? And again, in this area, there's a law that covers this, right? And legitimate companies like your bank and the utilities and government agencies will never, ever reach out to you and say, tell me your social security number on the phone, or tell me, your address, or give me this information, or let me on your computer. They will always send you a communication that says, we want you to contact us, right? And then you contact the local bank branch, and then you're connected to the real people that actually want this information. Or a lot of government agencies continue to do a lot of their communication only by snail mail because it can be more secure even than asking for information over the internet like that.
What about Microsoft? What will they do?
Microsoft will not come to you and say your account's being canceled. That's not how Microsoft works. It's not how your Microsoft account works. When you buy Windows or operating system put on your computer, Microsoft's not going to call you and say, it's time, I'm going to come take Microsoft off your computer unless you pay me more money. That's just not how Microsoft works. If you are on a Microsoft subscription service for like Office and other things, if you're reaching the end of that subscription, they'll send you a bill, and if you don't pay the bill, it just won't.
The product doesn't work.
It just stops working, right? They won't call you up and say, let me on your computer to keep this going.
What if you get a pop-up on your computer?
Okay, if one of those pop-ups shows up, there's more often there's a way to click and close it, usually an X in the corner. If there's not, shut down your browser, shut down your internet connection, and restart back up again, and 9 times out of 10 it'll be gone. That's...
And maybe consider a browser with pop-up blockers.
Pop-up blockers, yes, which is another browser feature to look for. So always verify before giving out any information. If you do get somebody on the phone or in an email that's asking you for some very personal information, don't do it through that communication. If it says they're coming from your bank or from some agency, hang up, close up, and contact them directly, and then they should be able to help you out.
If it's small town tech and you're not sure, just stop by our
just
shop.
Wave at us through the window and be like, here we are. Yep. And that's perhaps one of the advantages that we've heard from people who like us being able to help people providing remote service is we are just the folks down the block. We're not somewhere who knows where we are, right?
Right.
You're not outsourced.
Nope.
You can see name to face.
So when you contact us and we remote to your computer, it'll be Josh or Carolina or Emma or Doug or somebody, and there they are.
Not me. Don't worry.
Not Danielle, but maybe Doug.
Maybe.
Doug, Danielle, thank you so
Yes.
much for joining us today.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.